welcome back. Welcome, divine souls. I am doing an experiment today. Now, I never have any idea of what is going to come out during a tarot reading, but this is especially true. I want to explore an issue and a topic that has been really on my mind lately since I began this channel. It is the topic of predictive readings and why I do not focus on that. So let me start by talking a little bit about why I personally do not focus on predictive readings. The reason is because energy is so changeable, so quickly changeable. And last night I was watching quantum physics documentaries and exploring the topic. Ooh, Nymphadora is here. Ooh, and she is climbing up my leg. Whenever Nymphadora shows up in my readings, my cat, she is offering additional love, and she is absolutely just trying to climb up my leg. Oh, I love my kitty so much, and I need to trim her nails. Okay, sorry about that interruption. So I was watching about quantum physics last night, and they were exploring the topic of measuring the location of particles and exploring the topic of how particles are both particles and waves. And the concept they were talking about really reminded me of why I do not use tarot as a predictive tool. So they were explaining how to measure where a particle is located, that the particle was able to be in many places at once and was always in many places at once and did not choose a location until the measurement took place. And I know that's why I love quantum physics, because it can be mind-bending, and that's why I like it so much. So they illustrated through computer graphics how a particle is located in several places at once. But then they illustrated how upon measuring, it chose its location. And then no matter when they went to measure it, it would always be in that location. As well as there was nothing to indicate that it was ever anywhere else. Yet they know that that particle was in many locations before they measured it. And that reminds me of the energy of the tarot. Energy, or the future, or trying to be predictive, it's really a field of possibilities. And the field of possibilities is in an unlimited amount of locations all at the same time. And by measuring it, we try to define it, and then we try to say that this possibility will always be in that location. But that's not, in my experience, what actually happens in our life. And that's why I don't use tarot and oracle as a predictive tool, because, and I don't remember where I heard this, but it has stuck with me. The best way to predict your future is to create your future. And I am very into being empowered and empowering others to create our lives, to make choices and make creations. And I feel that using tarot and oracle and other tools of divination is a way of trying to limit our possibilities. And I don't want to do that. So with that being said, with my current views having been expressed, why would I want to explore this topic further? Well, I would like to explore this topic further because I am always learning, as well as we know that time is an illusion created by and for us as humans. We know that time all exists in one moment. So each moment contains the past, present, and future. And each moment contains the limitless possibilities. So these two thoughts somewhat contradict each other. Because if that's true, that each moment contains all things, including the future, then we should be able to see the future as easily as we see the past. Now that's some advanced doo-doo right there. I am not yet at that level where I can open my mind and see the future as a memory. There is, of course, such a beautiful thing as imagination, and there is also creation and manifestation, where we use our imagination to create our future reality. It's more than that, but in a incredibly oversimplified nutshell. So with these two thoughts in mind, I wanted to just explore. I in no way want to be an authority on this subject. I want to explore for myself. Now I'm using tarot and oracle, and I'm going to ask, what's the deal with trying to predict the future? So, and I'm chuckling because this is blowing even my mind, but let's try, because I'm all for exploration. I'm all for learning, and I have no idea what's going to come out. Can tarot answer the question about tarot? Can oracle answer the question about oracle? I mean, it should be able to, right? So let's just see what comes out, okay? So I want to clearly define a question in mind. And the question I want to ask and the topic I want to explore is using tarot and oracle to predict the future. Okay. So what do you have to say about using tarot and oracle to predict the future? Let's get some messages. And please keep in mind, this is the beginning of a discussion. This is the beginning of an exploration. Nothing more and nothing less. So tell me about using tarot and oracle as a tool of prediction. Stag spirit and leadership coming out of my Sacred Forest deck. Beautiful. Okay, this is super interesting because the Stag Spirit Leadership card in this deck is really all about taking control and leadership of your own life. It tells you to take a position of authority. It tells you to step up and command your life. So for this as the first card to come out in our exploration of can we use tarot and oracle as a predictive tool, the very first card that is coming out says that we are and should be the leaders of our own lives. And it tells us to step up and take control of our life. So I think our very first message is the most important thing is our personal empowerment, is that we control our lives. So I feel this is twofold. I think first and foremost, it's saying not to let anything deter you from your chosen goals. So this sounds like a personal decision each person should make. If watching predictive tarot and oracle cards is going to deter you from being in that empowered state, then it's not really, even in general terms, I would say, why would you do that to yourself? Because we want you to be empowered. And that's the main reason of why when I use tarot and oracle, I focus on what's going on right now. Because when we understand and have clarity and are open to new ideas on our current situation, that's when we can really make changes and decide on where to go next. So I feel like this card is in support of that. But I think the main idea of this card is that you remain the leader of your own life. So that's our first message, and I love it. It's gorgeous. Let's get another card from another deck. Tell us about using tarot and oracle as a predictive tool. Okay. Oh my gosh. Guys, look at that. Man, I got chills up and down my legs. I mean, this is crazy. The Creator. Guys, I'm almost like, wow, that was a very short video. Thank you for watching. I think we have all our answers. But let's get some more. Let's dive into it. Okay, let me just read this to you, and then we'll talk more about it. The Creator, the first archetype in the trio of existence, is not intimidated by darkness or by lack. They know that from the void, creation inevitably emerges with meager, minimal, and outlandish materials. The Creator reveals a new image. They make the empty room resonate with healing sounds. They generate bounty from the seed that others tossed away. Though generative, this archetype annihilates preconceived notions of what is possible, leaving unexpected openings in the wake of its destruction. The Creator does this first by being absolutely present to what is, not imagining or wishing things were different. And second, trusting that a force greater than themselves awaits constant collaboration with each human soul. Whether we call it nature, God, goddess, Shakti, or divinity, it remains nameless. It is the Creator's lifelong companion. Okay, guys, this is nuts. So we have another card calling each of us to be the creator of our own life. And this card literally talks about going into the void where all possibilities exist and choosing your creation, putting things together in a way that is unique to you and making a creation. It also talks about not being intimidated by darkness or lack. So again, I feel that we're given the message that what we don't want is anything limiting us. And what we do want is empowerment, our true nature as a creator, to be present, our true nature as creating our lives, to be front and center. So I don't feel that so far we've gotten a no, never use tarot or oracle as predictive text. What I'm not getting anything that says don't do this. What I'm getting is saying what to do, and what to do based on these oracle cards is to make sure that we are the leaders and creators of our own lives, and not to let circumstance dictate our mentality or put limits on us. So That's pretty crazy. This is in alignment with the thoughts that I had. The additional thoughts that I had that we haven't seen within this reading, because we're only 2 cards in, is that energy is so changeable and so many places all at once that trying to pinpoint the future energy really isn't possible, because it's just not in one location. But yeah, what I'm seeing here is keep your focus on what you want to create. Keep your focus on being the creator. Keep your focus on being the leader of your life. And there was one other thing that this card said. It says, the creator does this first by being absolutely present to what is. So that's talking about knowing, what I was talking about earlier, knowing your current energies, knowing where you are right now, understanding what's going on with you and around you, because from that place is where you make the really good decisions. Talking about, I think it's closely related to processing your emotions without dwelling in them. When, I believe it's the Buddhist tradition that talks about radical acceptance, is a Buddhist term, a Buddhist teaching. And that doesn't mean that when you accept something that you're accepting it forever. My current understanding of that practice is that you're accepting that that's how something is right now, that you accept the current state of things, and by acknowledging it, you can then work with the situation, with the energy, with the emotions. But if you're not accepting your current situation, it's almost creating a shadow within yourself, or a splinter within yourself. That not dealing with it is never going to change the situation in the most healthy way, because being fully present and being fully aware of where you are is the most powerful place from which to make decisions. So I feel that those things are being supported by the current cards that have come out, which, I mean, to me is beautiful. I want to go a little bit further. Let's ask again. Tell us about using tarot and oracle as a predictive tool. Okay. Pine spirit, purification. Okay. So this purification card is really about getting rid of anything you don't need, like a purge, purging what isn't useful, getting rid of anything that doesn't serve your needs. So in the context of this reading, and with the other cards that have already come out, I think that before we turn to tarot and oracle as a predictive tool, we need to ask ourselves some questions. Is it needed? What am I going to receive from trying to predict the future? If it's not needed, then is it something that would be more beneficial to purge? So we have us asking ourselves, does it empower me? If I watch predictive tarot, do I remain in a leadership position in my life? Do I maintain the creator stance within my life? Am I taking on things that I don't need, or do I need to purge things? I feel that this is an individual answer for each one of us, because we all have different strengths and different ways of thinking. So rather than a straight answer, we're being given questions, which I love. I mean, it's gorgeous. I'm always surprised what comes out. If I sat down and said I can't even imagine what'll come out and I don't have expectations, but I didn't expect questions to come out. I didn't expect the answers to be questions. So that's fun. I'm laughing over here. So I think that's something that each one of us should ask. Or even before we watch tarot or use tarot, what are we getting out of it? Are we getting empowering leadership skills? Are we learning to be our own creator? Are we purging what isn't needed, or are we taking on things that isn't going to help us? So I think those are great questions. I think those are really great questions. And I'd like to pull a few more. I don't think I'm going to do too much because I think that gives us a really great start. To explore this topic. And I don't feel that we need to know everything this instant. This gives us more to think about, play with, and explore, and then return to this topic when we have a little bit of experience with these questions and answers for ourselves. So let's get a little bit more, just to dive into it a little bit. So tell us about using tarot and oracle as a predictive tool. And we have Black Bear, Guardian, gentle and wise protector. Give me your confidence and power. Help me protect the ones I love. Awaken my intuition and guide me. Okay. So let's look at this card. One message I'm getting from this card is that using predictive tarot and oracle actually does, in some situations, have the potential to offer you confidence and power. But I guess that depends on the message that you receive. And it depends on yourself. So again, it's a question to ask yourself. Let's say you are going to watch a predictive tarot reading about what is my job going to be like in 6 months, okay? And let's say you watch 2 different readings and they're 2 different messages. And one is, you're going to be broke and sad. And the other is you're going to be rich, successful, and happy. You could use either one of those to gain confidence and power. You could use either one of those to help you protect the ones that you love, to awaken your intuition and for guidance. And it's really about how you view the messages and what you do with that information. Let's say that you watch the one that says your job's going to be poopy and you're going to be broke and sad. But you could use that information to look for potential pitfalls within your job and then take positive steps to guard against potential challenges or pitfalls in your job. And by taking action on what you feel might be going wrong, you could feel very confident and powerful, and you could feel that taking those steps protects your family or your well-being. As well as if you watch the one that says you're going to be so successful and make so much money and be so happy, that could absolutely be a confidence boost and could also make you feel powerful. So the message I'm getting from this card, the Black Bear Guardian card, is really, it's more about what you do with that information. So again, we're asking ourselves, are these readings making me feel that I am the leader of my life, that I am the creator of my life, that I am getting rid of what does not serve me and embracing what does? And then asking yourself the question, how can I use the predictive information in a way that provides me with confidence, power, awakens my intuition, and provides guidance? So again, more questions and more information for each one of us to assess for ourselves. So I love this. I love this because that idea is not foreign to me, but that's not what comes immediately to my mind when I think about predictive tarot and oracle readings. So I love that I get to consider a new viewpoint, and that's why I'm sitting here exploring this topic. Because people study this for their whole lives and don't have a definitive answer. So I want to create my own exploration. So a couple more cards. Tell us about using tarot and oracle as a predictive tool. Ooh, yes, I love it. The mirror. Okay, the mirror in this deck has a very dualistic nature. So we need to consider both sides of this, both messages that this card has to offer. Now, in one way, the mirror says that it can provide us with a glimpse of ourselves. So within this context, receiving predictive tarot and oracle messages has the potential to show us our true selves. Now remember that this is a reflected image, and we're extra reminded because not only is it a mirror, but also there's the picture of the moon on this card. So reflected light. So the tarot and oracle gives us the opportunity to see ourselves reflected back to us from the cards. And that would be like when something or when a reading really resonates with you, when you're talking to a reader and you're just like, wow, they're just getting like thing after thing right, even for a general pick a card reading, and I still really resonate with this person. That's you seeing yourself reflected back to you through the cards. So that's useful. That can be very useful, because when you can recognize yourself, you see what's going on, and you can decide if you want to make changes, if you want to continue. You can see how you're showing up in your life. You can see if you are being the leader of your life. You can see if you are the creator of your life. You can see if you are purifying your life, getting rid of what does not serve you, and embracing and allowing what does serve you. You awaken your intuition, and you allow your inner self and your intuition to guide you. So that's the really positive aspect of the mirror. Whether you like what you see or you don't like what you see yourself reflected and you act from that place. That's the very positive side of the mirror. But this card and the mirror is quite dualistic in nature. So the other aspect of the mirror is that messages and images can also potentially be very distorted if the mirror lens isn't clear. If you're seeing through an unclear lens, you can receive very distorted messages and images, and you may not realize that they're distorted. You could very much swear up and down that you are seeing things clearly, but if the message is distorted, you may not know. So some indications of seeing through a distorted mirror or receiving messages from a distorted mirror, some indications that that may be, is if your outward expression, your outward manifestations are not accurately depicting what you're trying to manifest, that would be an indication potentially of a distorted reflection. Another potential pitfall of the mirror is that it has an addictive quality potentially for it. And in this book, for this card, it even mentions the myth of Narcissus, who fell in love with his own reflection. I think that in the myth, doesn't he fall into the river? I think he might. It's been a long time since I heard that myth. But he gazes into the river or a pond and sees himself reflected, and he just falls in love with himself to his absolute downfall. So the reflection, recognizing that your reflection is not your true self, that it's merely an image reflected back to you. So there's a potential to almost lose your center by looking at an image of yourself, if that's making sense. I hope this is making sense. Some indications that this could potentially be happening for you or for us, for anyone, is if you notice yourself comparing your life to others' lives, because others' lives are also a reflection. We are all each other reflected. So if you're feeling centered and feeling your true self, others, you won't be comparing yourself to others as much. Others won't be quite so triggering. You'll recognize others as beings, spiritual beings, worthy of compassion and spiritual goodness and divine light and presence, rather than the comparison, rather than being an other. So, ironically, being your true self allows you to more embrace others and see them more as one with you. So I hope that's making sense. I hope I'm speaking clearly and able to now I can't speak at all. I hope that I'm speaking clearly and able to convey the messages that I'm trying to convey. I hope it's coming across well. And let's get one more card. Let's get one more card, and then we'll do a quick recap, because this has been really cool. And then I think I'll leave that here for now. And then as I move forward in my life and in my readings, I'm going to remember this information and notice if and how it begins to apply, and then use all that information to continue this exploration, because I feel that this is a big subject, not a short one-day subject. I want to be able to process this information and see its energy at play within my life before I move forward again. So let's get one more card, talk about it, and then we'll see any final overall messages that come up. And this has been really interesting. If you watched with me and you enjoyed it, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being willing to explore this topic. I mean, to explore the topic of tarot and oracle with tarot and oracle. That's pretty exploratory of you. And I appreciate your company as we go through this. Okay, enough babble, one more card. Tell us about predictive tarot and oracle messages. Look at that. Spirit guardian of autumn and letting go. So this card talks about surrender and knowing that you're not doing things alone, knowing that you're supported by the divine, by the universe, by the creator, the ultimate creator, and not always needing to control everything. So this is a message for some. Actually, this is a message for all of us. Another question for us to ask before we look into predictive tarot that's trying to tell us the future. Are we doing it because we're trying to control everything? Allowing the unknown into our life, allowing the divine and the universe into our life can be pretty scary sometimes. It requires a very high level of trust, especially when we're just starting out, to allow the unknown to really work in our lives. One benefit, there's many benefits, I could talk for hours, but one benefit of allowing the unknown and the divine to work within our lives is that things, situations, experiences, relationships end up so much more beautiful than we ever could have imagined. It's calling me to notice this purification card. It's as if the universe, whatever you prefer to call your higher power, but it's as if the universe, it's as if the divine takes our beautiful intentions and makes them beautiful beyond our imagination and puts things together, orchestrates events and situations and experiences in ways that we never could have imagined. So this energy of letting go and surrender is coming in to remind us not to control or try to control every aspect of everything, that there needs to be room for the universe, for the loving, intelligent, guiding force of life to come in and work on our behalf. And it can't do that if we are trying to orchestrate every single detail. So, okay, so to recap, this was amazing, and I love this reading. I wasn't even sure if I would post it, but I will. I'm going to trust that it will find, oh, the train's going by. I'm going to trust that it finds the people that it needs to find, that the message comes across to someone who needs to explore this topic, because I really wanted to explore this topic. So to recap, we're exploring using tarot and oracle in a predictive way and how that can work for us or against us. How does that work? Okay, and the messages that we got, that the most important thing for us to remember is that we are the leaders of our own lives. We maintain the leadership and direction that our lives go in. So regardless of whether or not we use predictive divinatory tools, we are called to remain our own leader. We are called to maintain the empowerment of the Creator within our lives, and that we co-create with the divine, regardless of whether or not we choose to use predictive divinatory tools. We are the creator of our lives, and also that's going to happen whether or not we use predictive tools. If we allow those tools to influence us in ways which we would not prefer, that's still us doing that. That's still us creating. We have the choice of how to use that information, especially with this Black Bear card. This is what this Black Bear card says to me. It's our choice how to use the information. So if we can use the information regardless of what the information is, in a powerful way that awakens your intuition, that gives you confidence, regardless of what the message that comes out is, then it can potentially be positive, but you're called to stay in this empowered, creative spirit. You're called to not take on any messages that don't serve you. You're called to let those messages go. For most readings, the readers will say, take what resonates and let the rest go. And that's part of this purification process. Make sure that you're not taking on energies, information, or ideas that aren't in line with your true self and your true values and your authenticity. Okay, and we have the card of the mirror, that the information presented in divinatory tools are a reflection of yourself. They are not your true self. If seeing that reflection aids in your clarity and understanding, then that can be very helpful. There's also potential pitfalls to watch out for. Seeing through a distorted lens, comparing yourself with others, seeing others as others instead of fellow divine beings, that we are all each other pushed out. So seeing clearly, not falling trap to falling in love with your reflection rather than acting from your true self. And letting go, surrender, allowing the divine, the universe, and the loving, intelligent energy of creation to work within your life, to allow things to be more beautiful, more amazing, more awe-inspiring than you could have possibly imagined, not to try to orchestrate and control every aspect. So we see some questions that we can each ask ourselves as we watch readings, as we choose to watch readings, as we read for ourselves. And again, I wanted to say just thank you for exploring this topic with me, and that this is a discussion, and that I realize that not everyone is going to agree with these statements or agree with me, and I welcome open, respectful discussion. You are absolutely free to disagree as long as it's done in a respectful way to myself and all my other viewers. Any comments that are disrespectful, I will delete. I've had to delete a couple already because they just weren't respectful. As long as they're respectful, it's beautiful and I welcome it. So this is the beginning of a discussion, and I thought it would be fun to use Oracle to talk about Oracle. And it was fun. It was fun. If you enjoyed this experiment, if you enjoyed this exploration and this reading, hit that thumbs up button. Let me know in comments if you enjoyed this exploration of Oracle and Tarot today. Leave me a comment. If you don't have to respond on what we talked about. If you don't want to, you can drop your favorite emoji and subscribe, because I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.